Alright friends, so we're about to start today's treat. Today we're going to be making cookies. I'm going to use my Christmas cookbook for the base of the recipe, but I'm going to be changing it quite a bit just because I do want to make them more festive and, well, just because I want to. So that's the only reason that I need. But this is what they look like in the cookbook, and the reason that I wanted to make these is because they look really good. However, I do want to try to make them more festive, so I'm going to be adding some things, and I'll share that obviously when I get over there. And I don't want my chocolate quite that big. I would personally, because I love chocolate chip cookies. I love chocolate, I love cookies. But when Wendy seen it, because I had it open yesterday looking at it to make sure that, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday? I don't know, the cookbook's been open to that page for a couple of days anyways. And when Wendy seen it, she wasn't too sure about the big chunks of chocolate. She said that she didn't know if she would like it like that. So I'm going to put chunks of chocolate in it, but I will probably cut mine up a little bit smaller than what it shows in the cookbook. And we're also, like I said, going to add more stuff to it to make it festive. So I'm just using this as a base recipe if you decide that you want to try to make these or whatnot, because they're super simple. But just find you a basic chocolate chip cookie recipe, and then instead of chocolate chips, add in what we're going to be adding in. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I've already got the oven preheated because I used it for lunch. So lunch, and it's 2 o'clock. Sometimes it be like that. But we're going to go ahead and get started on this. For this recipe, it's supposed to make giant cookies. You're supposed to use a 1/4 measuring cup in order to scoop them out. I'm not going to make giant cookies, and I'm also going to make half the recipe. So am I really following the recipe, especially since all the stuff I'm adding to it? Not really, but I am using it as a base. So that's what we're going for when I say I'm using the cookbook, because, you know, I'm not really using the cookbook. Mine won't look like this probably at all, but that is what inspired me to want to make them. So I'm just going to use the cookbook, go by the actual dough recipe, well, I guess I am using the cookbook. I'm just halving this, and then I'm adding a bunch of other stuff to it. So we're gonna add, it calls for 12 ounces of sweet, dark, or bittersweet chocolate, coarsely chopped. Did I say? I don't know what I said. But we are doing this, which technically I would need 6 ounces since I'm doing half recipe. I'm using this Symphony bar. These are one of my favorites. The ones with like toffee or whatever in it. Delicious. I love those things. I don't know if I've ever bought them without the toffee and nuts and whatever, but I just seen this and thought that will be good in my cookies. So I had a different one and I put it back and I got this one. We'll probably use half of this, and that would be a little bit over 2 ounces of that. But then to make it festive, we're gonna add a few of these little holiday baking chips, which are just mini vanilla chips pretty much. And then I'm going to use some of the Christmas M&Ms. I got the regular ones and the minis. We're going to add a little bit of those as well. So that's how I'm changing the recipe. But it's going to be good. I guarantee it's going to be good. So we're going to go ahead and get it in here. I wasn't going to use my hand mixer, and I was just going to do it like old times and mix it up with a spatula, a fork or whatever. But then I decided last minute that it says to beat it with a mixer. We're going to beat it with a mixer, but we'll see. This little guy that I got right here, I love it. It works really well, but it works too well with powdered stuff. I don't know why I turned it on, but it can throw stuff around pretty bad, but we're going to use it. We're going to make it work. So let's get to work. I'm not sure how we're going to feel about this angle, but we're going to try it because I'm getting tired of, I don't know, not changing it up a little bit. So we'll figure it out. And I don't want you too close to my bowl because it's pretty ugly. It's beaten up. I can't like promise or nothing because I got a bad memory. But this was one of the few things that I actually bought myself when we first moved out and had our own place, and I started, you know, actually baking my own meals with my own things. And I have had this thing for ages. It's scratched all to pieces. It's really the Pyrex brand or whatever. So I guess that's why it's still doing so good this long later. But it scratched all to pieces. I smacked it into one of the microwaves we had before. I think it was the one before this one. And broke a piece on the microwave plate as well as broke the bowl. But, well, we ain't getting rid of it. I was going to say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it is broke. But it's not broke enough to where we can't use it. So we gonna keep it. We need a cup of butter, but we're doing half, so we need a stick, if I remember this correctly. As much as I bake, especially use butter, you would think that I would know this stuff, but I'm always a person that second guesses myself, especially if it gets brought up. Like I can know for sure that I locked the door, or I done something like that, like locked the door, turned out the light or whatever. I can know for sure I did it, like 100% sure I did it. But if somebody mentions it, I have to check it, or it drives me crazy. And I hate that, but it's just how it is. I'm keeping my hair in here just so it don't fall down in there. You need half a cup of brown sugar. And what's it say? A half. No, this says packed brown sugar. Nolan's in there watching Hotel Transylvania. The washer and dryer are both going. It was just a perfect time to make a video, but if you wait for perfect, it don't happen. It does not happen. And then we need, I don't know, I keep trying to hold my hair back. I like with this little doodad, he's kind of obnoxious with this little thumb. I've mentioned it before. But it like breaks it down for you. And I do like that. I mean, I didn't need it. I just was pointing that out. That it breaks it down for you. I guess I could use this though. Because I need a half cup of granulated sugar. No. I need 1/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. So I could use that, but I don't know if I'm going to. Might as well. 1/4 of a cup equals 4 tablespoons. And we're just gonna use this because it was already there. And I was just talking about it, so. I told you this thing is insane. We're gonna help it out a little bit first. I might have to change the bowl since this one is so open, but I thought I would change it up a little bit, but sometimes change doesn't go your way. I like changing bowls. That is not creamed together one bit, but I don't care. I really don't. Beat in the eggs and the vanilla. So we need 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll incorporate just fine. Nope, wrong one. That's okay. Probably not using those. Oh, I'm sorry, tree. Probably will just use my little good old faithful spatula, even with this thumb, because that's just, it's too messy. Alright, so now we need, it says in a separate bowl, combine the flour, baking soda, and salt. Baking soda. Lots powder. Here we go. And then flour. How much flour do I need? I will just eyeball it. I need 1 1/4. So that means I need half of you. Pinch of salt, a teaspoon. And then I will measure the baking soda. Definitely didn't put enough salt. That was a teaspoon. Teaspoon in my mind is more, not as much as it really is. I mean, it's less than it really is. All right. I'm just gonna mix this together here. Well, baby. What? I don't know. Hold on, I'll check for you. Okay. Had to go help Nolan, and then I switched to the dough hook whisk thing. Now what I'll do better, and then in order to incorporate the mix ins, might make it better. Alright, now the fun part. I should have froze my chocolate to make it cut better, but it's whatever. More is better. That's what I always say. Okay. Really should have just broken them apart. Maybe. It's fine. We're just gonna chop it loosely, I guess. Make sure there's not as big as in that picture so that Miss Wendy doesn't complain, but I do want a little bit chunky too. So. If I feel like we need the other piece, I'll add it. Now we're gonna add one of these. Shines in a lollipop. What? Alright. I'm hoping it didn't disintegrate all those little baby chocolate chips. It didn't. Alright. So you're supposed to refrigerate this for an hour. I ain't doing that. We're gonna go ahead and get the baking sheets prepped. Get these cooked so I can eat one. We're gonna compromise and not put them in the deep freeze while I get this mess cleaned up. Close enough to an hour, even though it'll take 5 minutes. Okay, So it ended up being more like 10 minutes because I had to wash the dishes and all that. So it definitely did sit up some because the deep freeze is, you know, a little cold. We're just gonna go ahead and I did line my baking sheets with foil paper. Not necessary, but I just like less cleanup. So I just went ahead and done it. It's good enough. The chunks of chocolate make it a little bit more complicated, but that's okay. Just kind of making sure that it's full, rubbing off the excess, and getting it out. I'm going to package this up and take it to my neighbor. We've still got just a little bit of everything that we've made. I'm going to take this over and surprise her and her husband with it. Maybe the grandkids if they're around. But I know that they'll enjoy it, and then, you know, we're eating less of it, and plus we still have a lot more to go. So this is the sugar cookie fudge. This is the delicious cookies that I just made, and I let them cool and put them in a bag. This is the Christmas crack, and then this is the cake pops as well. So I'm gonna bag this up, put it in a little lunch bag here, and then take it over to her. I know she'll like it. I know they like it. So, and she told me that they volunteer to taste test, so we're gonna give this to them. Alright friends, and with that, that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed hanging out and baking with us yet again today. If you enjoyed it, well, good news, we still have a lot to go, and if you didn't, well, I'm sorry, we still have a lot to go. But we will see you all tomorrow. As always, remember to show grace, be content, and live blessed. Bye, friends.